It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown.
Oh, what you say now?
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown.
Man, I ain't got nothing but real talk for you.
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown.
Hold up, man, we got to start the show.
It's the Real Talk Show.
Well, hello and welcome to Real Talk with R.S. Brown. I am R.S. Brown here. Listen, we're still practicing a thing called social distancing, and so should you, all right? Now, I know a lot of states open back up, and that is okay. You know, I still want you to limit the places that you go because I'm trying to do the same exact thing, okay? How about that? So, wait, we got a great show. We're going to deal with mental health today on the show. As you know, that the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're going to make sure that we do that for you today, that we get some really good mental health tips in there for you. So we got a social worker on, and we have a person who comes on who's going to come on and educate you as well. All right, all that's coming more right here on Real Talk with R.S. Brown.
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown. Real Talk Show.
Man, I need help.
Come on in. You're tired of getting messed up and you want to get shaped up so that you can level up. Come see Coach Neighbors at Tobacco Road Barbershop, 2587 Tobacco Road, Evansville, Georgia, 30815. Give me a call at 706-394-0617. Again, 706-394-0617. Come holler at me.
Put me in the game, coach.
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown. Real Talk Show.
All right, so I tell you what, we're going to go right to Miss O'Brien. Now, she's a social worker, and she specializes in mental health. So she gave us some good information, and so we're going to go right to it and listen to it. This is really good information that will help you.
Hey, R.S. Brown here on the Zoom here with Miss Natalie Bryan, and she is a licensed clinical social worker, right? Did I get it right?
Yes.
Well, listen, I'm excited to just jump right into it. What are some of the things you've been seeing during these time of mental health? Maybe some of your big, I don't want to say your hot spots, but yeah, your hot spots.
Well, right now, definitely anxiety, depression. We're definitely seeing an increase in suicide. And we're definitely seeing a lot of people who are triggered who have never really exhibited any symptoms of mental health before because of the stressors of this social situation we have going on with COVID.
Okay. So, well, how can a person who may be dealing with those, anxiety or depression, how do you recommend, maybe dealing with some of that?
Well, first and foremost, I'm always going to recommend getting professional help because, these are times where coping skills aren't being utilized appropriately because of the loss of control of one's environment. COVID is not something that we've ever experienced before. We don't know when the technical end of it is going to be, and we are literally just doing a day-by-day assessment to see what our new normal is going to be after COVID. So for my patients that are struggling primarily with anxiety, I've been doing more recommendation of most of the time, most people are not working right now. So what I've told them to do is create some sort of schedule or systems for themselves at home so that they can at least try to regain some semblance of control within their environment at home. So setting a schedule just like if they had to go to work or had to, pick up children or do schooling, whatever you need to do to kind of keep that sense of normalcy. Another thing that I've recommended is some guided meditation because I believe it helps to ground you. So one of the resources that I do give to some of my patients are, I like the Honest Guys. They are a guided meditation group on YouTube. So YouTube is free. And I like them because they give a variety of different guided meditations that start at like 1 minute and goes all the way up to 90 minutes. And it can focus on things that people are struggling with, like sleep hygiene. People are having a hard time sleeping. People are having a hard time gathering their wondering or um, running thoughts that they can't control, or ruminations, as we call them also. So people are struggling with things that are outside of their control, and the guided meditation kind of helps to ground them and bring them into focus on things like their breathing, or maybe their heartbeat, or maybe their environment around them, their sense of touch, their sense of hearing, their sense of sight. So I think that is helpful. Another thing is some journaling. Pouring out your emotions on pen and paper can be very helpful, especially if you're a person who feels like they can't express it verbally. So a lot of times I do give them some tools to help with journaling, like maybe some journal prompting, or I give them what I call the feelings wheel. So the feelings wheel is just a wheel of feelings to help people be able to have the language to express themselves, because a lot of times we express our feelings, but we tend to stay in the very large areas like anger, happy, sad, but there's so many other feelings on the spectrum. And because we tend to not express those feelings, it's usually stemming from the fact that we have not been able to identify them to have the language to express them. So the feelings wheel helps to give guide, or give knowing and knowledge to what you're actually assessing those feelings to be, and the language to express them to someone else.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So how, and just picking back up, how do a person actually realize that they're actually going through a mental health issue? A lot of times they just think, oh, I'm just a little sad, or I'm a little mad, or or don't really notice it, or some may not believe in mental health. So what's the best way to pinpoint that, hey, I'm going through a mental health issue?
Well, I'm going to say, thankfully, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, as we were, it's a special month for us. So one of the main things that we do is we definitely try to speak to people about the stigma of mental health, because people, they think it's taboo to discuss feelings, express feelings and emotions. So one of the main things that we do is we educate on how mental health is something that is very natural, just like any other diagnosis, and it is just as important part of your whole health as your physical health. So it is important to address it. So with that being said, that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I want people to know that generally you are mentally well unless your issue is impacting your daily life, if it's in excess or not in act of. You know what I'm saying? We do generally have some sort of anxiety. That's our fight or flight or freeze response. You know what I'm saying? In happy or sad or emotions, it's innate in us. But when that anxiety is keeping you from going outside and socializing with people, when that anxiety is keeping you from interacting with your daily job, your children, your family, when it's impacting you in that capacity outside that realm, then you know that that mental health issue is more significant than your general fight or flight, or even your general depression. For example, right now, people are having situational depression because they're losing friends and families and loved ones from COVID. Generally they wouldn't be depressed or sad, but death does bring that out in people. So we grieve, we get into a bit of a depressive state, but we recover. But when that grief has gone on to a certain significant time, that it impacts how you work, if you're eating, if you're sleeping, if you are engaging, then you know that it is more significant than just general grief, and that depressive state has taken hold of you. So my thing is, it's just when a mental health state has taken you out of the realm of what you normally do. How you go to work, how you socialize with others, how you speak to others, how you engage, how you participate in life as a whole.
Okay. You want to give them that website and telephone number?
Yes, so my website is www.restoringharmonycounseling.com, and my telephone number for my assistant is 762-585-4610, and she will help you get on our calendar. Now, we do also accept insurance. So if you have insurance, we do have like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Humana, TRICARE, all of those. If you call my assistant, she can definitely let you know what your financial responsibility is and what your insurance will cover, and explain that to you before we even engage in session, so you'll know your responsibility.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on with us, and we really do appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me. You have a wonderful day.
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown. Real Talk Show.
Hello, welcome to Porch Talk TV. I'm your host, Renza Renee. I have a special guest today, third runner-up, second season of Sunday's Best, Miss Latice Crawford. Welcome to the show, Latice. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, so listen, it has been 11 years, and I know that you have really been out there performing, and you have had as a matter of fact, your signature album, it hit what, 2 charts? 2 different gospel charts, and all the songs you wrote yourself. Is that correct?
Yep. On my first album, I actually had another writer named Pierre Medor. He wrote There and Through It All for me, and Better. We all wrote those together. But the other songs, yep, I wrote them all myself. I wrote all of my songs on my last 2 projects and this current project as well.
Which is amazing. Is that correct? The name of the song is Amazing.
It was called Amazing, yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I do know that you have a 3-octave range, which is absolutely amazing. When did you actually discover that you could actually sing?
It's weird because I've been singing my whole life, but I come from a very musically inclined family, and it was a very musically inclined church. It wasn't real fair that people existed that couldn't sing. You know what I mean? Like for most of my like a lot of my childhood, probably until I was like maybe 10 or 11, I just didn't even know. Like, so there are people who don't sing. Everyone around me did until I got to junior high school. I wanted to be a dance, but that didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So the chorus teacher, they had a new guy coming in, and they were trying to find another, elective for me or whatever. And so he picked me out of a crowd in auditorium. Sorry, my earring is fiddling. I'm gonna take it off. Found me in a crowd in the auditorium and just said, "You." And I was like, what? He's like, "You're gonna come be in chorus." I'm like, "Chorus? I don't want to be in chorus." He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be in chorus." So we're in there, and we were singing one of the songs, and the girl next to me, I'm like, "What is this note she's singing?" Like I said, I'm probably about 10 or 11. "What is this note she's singing? What is that? I don't know what that is." So I'm trying to tell her, "No, it's Go Tell It." So I'm singing it to her. My teacher kind of looks and goes, come here for a second. I go up to the piano. He asked if I knew Amazing Grace. I said I did. I started singing it. Next thing I knew, everyone was standing at the doors, and everybody now, I guess, knew that I could sing because they put it on the loudspeakers. And so that was the day that I realized, like,
I might have something
maybe it's something I can do that other people don't do. And that's how I found out that it was, something different.
Your voice is so unique. I mean, you could literally pick your voice out of a million people singing at one time. I absolutely love it. And is that something that just developed, or it was straight from God? It had to be, because it is so unique. And I know that you stated at one time that you didn't sing for a very long time, and you had to ask God to restore your voice. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I was much younger, I had a really high voice. I sang high like Mariah Carey high. I could hit all the notes and do all the stuff. And I'll say that I feel like it was a God experience. I did not appreciate my gift at all. Like I said, I took it kind of for granted because it was so common around me. So to me, it's nothing special. Like this, you sing. What's the big deal? I didn't want to sing. I'd be in church and I'm like, they call me for every solo. I was leading every song in the children's choir, and I got bored with it. I got tired of it. And so One day I woke up and had no voice. I literally, and even that would hurt or make me hoarse for weeks at a time. And that went on for about 5 years. But at that time, I was going through life. By then I was, going into my teenage years, into, adulthood, and I was going through life, dating, and that wasn't working out. And then, all this other stuff, and real life was hitting, temptations were hitting, all these things, and I'm going through hell. And I can't really say anything about it. There were times I just wanted to scream, and I couldn't, physically couldn't do it. And I was begging God, like, God, if you give me, I was writing a lot in that time though. And I was like, God, if you just give me back a portion of what I had before. I don't have to have the range, I don't have anything, but just give me back the ability to be able to sing and express what this is that I'm going through. Because I was going to church and feeling like I'm here, but they're not talking about my stuff. They're telling me about houses, cars. Too young for all that. I'm too young for all these. I'm not sick. I don't need that. I just need God to fix my heart. And so I wanted to write music about that, and those people who were sitting there just like me, feeling like, why they not telling me how to stop picking these wrong dudes? Why they not telling me how to get over this or get over that? And slowly but surely, we started to restore just enough. And it was crazy because I couldn't even really sing at home. It was only if I was at church or doing it for him that I'd have just enough to say what it was that I needed to say.
Wow, that's amazing. And I tell you what, the title of your album, Amazing, is exactly what you are. Latice Crawford, you are absolutely amazing. And I just say, let God continue to use you, use your voice, and continue to send a message out to the world. And I want to read to you something that you wrote that I thought was absolutely special. You said, it doesn't take God to come off the mountain to save the universe. It takes us to let him work through us and our imperfections. And in those imperfections, he is still there for us. Thank you so much. Listen, everybody, tune back in next week to Porch Talk TV, where we will have another amazing guest.
It's the Real Talk Show with R.S. Brown. Real Talk Show.
All right, well, we got to go to the education side of it, and we want to educate you about grief, all right, about grief. And so, I learned a lot, and grief is just more than just, losing a loved one. We're going to talk about that more with Shalonda McCain right here on Real Talk with R.S. Brown. So is she on standby now? She's on standby ready. So listen, I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to jump on with Shalonda McCain right now, all right?
Well, hey, listen, I'm in the chair now, and I'm here with Miss Shalonda McCain here from Peace and Life Together. Now, you guys do grief coaching, life coaching, all of that and more. How are you?
I am great. And yourself?
I'm doing quite well. Listen, let's jump right into it.
Yes. All right. Well, like I stated, as you stated, I'm Shalonda McCain. I am a life coach and grief recovery specialist with Peace and Life Together. And what we're here now doing is talking about grief and how can we really sustain what we're going through in today's time. First of all, grief is a natural and normal internal reaction to the feeling of a loss. So whatever type of loss, death, divorce, a sentimental piece, transitioning from a job or a home, you can definitely have these difficult, if not, paid attention to feelings.
So I can imagine during these COVID-19 times that you've seen a lot of people grieving due to a lot of loss of loved ones. What was something that you've been doing? And it's kind of hard, I would guess, being that you have to do social distancing as well. So, what are some things that you're recommending just to people to do during these times?
I've had, unfortunately, in my experience, loved ones who had to be buried. And of course, when it was first offset, it was very strict, no more than 10. Just not being able to attend to the ceremony. I had other, friends who parents passed away from it, and I couldn't be there for them to just hug them and support them. What I would recommend at this time is just to truly be in a position for yourself first, because in order to help others, you must first help yourself. And understanding what we're really in today. It is a pandemic that has hit our nation, but when I explain this, because it is very sensitive.
Yeah.
Talk about grief because we all experience it differently. We all take it in differently. What I would, like I said, say is just remember that individual. remember the good times of that individual when they was in your life. You know, just go back to the positivity and not the cause of effect, because it's very tragic. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. This is not just, this is a bam. You got something one day and you're gone the next, and there's some mysterious, and then you're angry at the government, you're angry at the world, you're angry. Like I had stated, we have to identify what we're feeling, because it's emotional. It's an emotional state of being that you want to be able to understand that it hurts. It hurts, but understanding that person and what they fought for when they was alive. You know, stay in that moment of all the positivity things they told you, all the things they wanted out of life. Make their life your life in a positive way. You know, I mean, and that's what I would definitely tell anyone, especially when it comes to the death part, because, you know, of course, we're grieving over finance, some of us, with job loss, with being just not even having a place to stay. You know, it was amazing. I was talking to someone and I said, well, you know, these days, you know, you can't put anybody out the house, you know, like eviction or something, to a certain degree now. And someone said, well, a family member can. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You could be living with someone.
That should not think about that.
You know, because see, the pandemic that we in, it didn't really, it just stalled the problem we have. We had issues before this came. So now that you're at a standstill, you boiling, you know, and that can cause rift.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I said, it's just me personally, when it comes to grief and getting through this period that we're in, understand the situation first. Grief, if you try to, it's like an elephant. You can't eat that elephant all at once. And that's just like grief. You know, because you're a mix of men. You got maybe have a death, then you got that finance, then you got problems with your kids, then you got your job. You got to separate it. You got to say, you know what, my focus is going to be on here today. I said, this is going to be my focus on here. And then when you finally get that healing, you can see it as a big picture.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Well, how do a person know? Because you actually have programs and things. And so, matter of fact, let's just jump to that. You know, tell us about, you know, the Let's Talk Grief that you do around. I know you kind of in a standstill now, but once you get back started, you know, tell us a little bit about some of the things you do there and how do a person know that they need to come and see you?
I know, right? Well, you know, I'm with Peace and Life Together, and we do life coaching and grief recovery. And I have several programs for, you know, grief recovery, and I also have programs for life coaching, because we do believe in transforming you from grief to growth. And so right now I'm excited. You know, I'm thank you so much, Ms. Brown, for allowing me to even be on my set that I created. You know, I'm now doing virtual, because I can't get with people I do one-on-one, but just as a group, you know. So we're doing 3 series grief talk. So that'll be published by next week, I'll say, after editing. And we're on the platform of YouTube, you know, the YouTube platform, Peace and Life Together, LLC. So they can go there. We also have videos about financial empowerment, because that's a grief. So right now I'm just trying to be in a moment of my standstill. This is a standstill period that we must really understand, and this is shout, you know, I mean, I can't not get off here without giving glory to God. Okay, God is so good, and in the midst of this, you know, God is in control, and I truly believe, I'm telling you, the three weeks I have been sat down, I have been doing what I've been wanting to do for years. Come on now. And I don't want us to come out this period and not come out on top, because it is resources out there. You know, it's things that we feel. Some people, I'm gonna be honest, some people getting paid more than they ever got paid before. But we have to be wise by this finance that God has given us, because and I'm not, you know, I don't know everything, but I just been watching, you know, news and everything. This feel like a new world order that's going to be coming about. So we got to be prepared for that new world order, you know, and be ahead of the game, because there's so much changing. It's so much changing out here right before our eyes. So I believe that this is an opportunity that God has given us a second chance to get it right. He's sitting us down so we can be at peace This is not for us to go out and get, be all upside down. It really isn't. It really isn't. Because I'm a true believer that you had this chaos way before this shit. So don't blame the pandemic. Remember what I said earlier? Be in the situation of where you're at. That's the only way you're going to get to that grief. That's the only way you're going to get to that pain. Because if you start blaming things, blaming people, no, it's us. It's us. It starts with us. So I'm excited. I know that my heart is broken. I'm smiling before you guys, but I'm telling you, I got my own hits personally. I got my own hits, and I can't wait to share that when I'm ready to share it with the world, because I'm still going through it. Yeah. But I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much. And if you don't mind, I know that we're not in closing, but I promise when I get any opportunity, I wanted to share this scripture.
Yeah.
And it's Isaiah 26:20. And I'm reading from I want to make sure, the Life Application Study Bible, King James. And it says, "Come, my people, into your chambers and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself as it were for a little while, until the indignation is past. For behold, the Lord comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their inequity, and will no longer more cover her slain." The word is within us. Get on your Zooms with your pastors. Get on your YouTubes with your pastors. Get encouraged. You don't have to go in a building to not be connected to God. It don't start in a building. It starts in your heart.
There you go.
So I know you didn't want me to be preaching and stuff.
Hey, listen, that was great. Well, let them know how they can follow you and get part 2. So let them know how they can follow you, contact you, and get part 2, and go from there.
Yes, definitely. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Peace and Life Together, my website, peaceandlifetogether.com. And so I'm here. I'm downtown Augusta, Georgia.
All right. Hey, there you have it right there. Peace and Life Together, y'all, with Miss Shalonda McCain.
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you got some education today on Real Talk with R.S. Brown about mental health and grief. I really did. It was an aha moment. Like I said, I did not know that grief was not just losing a loved one. It can be finances and all. And I did not know all those things that Ms. Brown told us about mental health. Wow. So hope you learned a lot. You tuned in to Real Talk with R.S. Brown, and we hope to see you next week.